Morning everybody and welcome to World Sports Betting Morning Betting Show. We're here on a Saturday morning to preview all the whole host of sport coming up this weekend. There's so much sport on the go, we actually don't know what to do with ourselves. And we got most of the usual panel. Dom's on the background, Liam Delcom studying rugby for later on. We open up with Richard Tannis, who is the operations manager of World Sports Betting. He also claims to be a sports analyst.
Well, I'll try my best.
Yeah. What sports are we talking here?
Well, we can start off with your boxing and everything, but I can give you a tip on whatever you want.
Okay, well, we'll get those tips. Very warm welcome to Richard. He's here to chat about a number of specials that World Sports Betting have at the moment and also to preview some very important EFC later tonight. Gary, EFC later tonight, I know you're a big fan of it.
I am. I haven't got a great record there, but I could also just like...
What, in the farting or the punting stakes?
No, a great fighter. One thing I can tell you, I can also tip you anything.
Yes.
Whether they win or lose. That's the secret, right? Tipping's the easy part. Letting them come home and arrive is not the easy part. But I think we've got some really good tips coming this weekend.
No, it's just some got nice tops, isn't it, Ron?
Yeah. No, you've got to.
We're freezing.
You've got to have connections too.
Yeah.
We've got to be honest. I mean, your dogs have obviously sat on your shirt this morning.
Yeah.
But these shirts, courtesy of Pringle,
Yeah.
I'm not too sure
Beautiful.
who's associated with Pringle, but thanks very much to Pringle. They really are top class, aren't they, Gary?
They are nice, really nice, you know. And I feel sorry for Rod, he didn't get one. So next week we're going to deliver it. You have to wear it next week now.
Can I tell the truth? I actually got one and I put it on home. My wife said, if you wear that on television, you know how fat you're going to look. I said, well...
Why, was it too tight?
No, I'll tell you a story about the game park just now.
You can tell us now.
Which game park?
Shepherd's Tree.
Oh, well
Not
done,
getting
another one.
Hey, I had to pay for it.
No.
Oh, rockets.
Oh,
Absolute
dear.
rockets. But they've got a new thing there now, so you can eat what you like. You've got to pay for your drinks, which is there. No, but now they've got like a toll gate. So when you go to reception and you go to check in...
They give you food?
No, they weigh you, and then they weigh you out. So if you've eaten too much food, you've got excess. We had to pay in $2,000. Jeez. I did eat quite a bit. It was very nice, though. Good experience.
Brilliant.
Seven lions chasing 50 buffalo right in front of us. Magnificent, eh?
There'll be 15 lions chasing 15 crusaders late.
Well, it will be, yeah. Good call,
Probably
Gary,
won't catch them either.
No, I don't think so. I think you're on. Yeah.
Speaking of winning tips like Gary and I were talking about, well done last week, Rod. For
Well-
the first time ever in over a year,
Yeah.
you managed to...
Even a blind squirrel picks up an acorn, doesn't it? So
What does he do with it?
Well, I didn't actually punt it last week. I didn't punt it because I was away at the game park. But it arrived. Only 2 bets, but interested to get your opinion on it. A lot of people go for 7 or 8 like Terry does, and if you get 3 right out of 7, do you win?
No.
Thank you. I just want to clear that up because that's what Terry tells us every week.
But if you have a Yankee
Well, you can do that private.
and you have five bets,
I
of
think
course.
3 out of 7, your Yankees still going to go down the drain.
But if you get 4 out of 5 at a Yankee, you must make money.
Yeah, but how often do you get 4 out of 5?
Well, no.
Oh, regular, matey.
With the prices,
Have a
you've
look at
got
the
1 to
Guinness.
3 onto 1 to 3
3.
onto 1 to 10.
Doesn't make no difference. They all make it up, matey.
It does if you're in a Yankee.
What do you get?
I've
with
done one this week here, 18 to 1.
You've done a what?
World Cup qualifier, 4 all to come. Some difficult ones, but I've gone for it.
But you got them all wrong last night.
I got last night.
Yes,
I can't get the results.
You're asking Gary what happened with Hungary. No, they drew. What happened with this team?
No, matey. Got all those 4 will come home. I did it on the Hot FM for your mob. I had World Sports Betting last night. Little plug there for in the radio. Hot FM.
Is it?
Yeah.
You're plugging everything this morning, isn't it?
Absolutely. Got to plug it up, matey.
Well, we shouldn't plug it up.
All right, let's have a look at the lineup for the rest of the show. We got plenty to talk about, like I said, at the top of it all. Dom will be on a little bit later on to chat about a race from Doomben. That'll be race number 8. We've just seen their 7th race and fantastic stuff that we have from Australia. And as we know, World Sports Betting have a number of specials regarding that and a lot of other things. There's EFC, boxing and cricket that we'll start off with, and we'll chat to Richard about the EFC and the boxing because the rest of us don't have much clue. Then Formula 1, Durban, July and Doomben Race 8. We'll touch on all those specials for the Durban, July, and then we'll end off with all the football. So you have to wait a little bit, Terry. You can have a bit of a nap.
Oh, it's only World Cup qualifiers. I mean, it's not important, is it? Goodness gracious. Carry on.
All right, let's start off with the EFC later tonight. And we know that World Sports Betting have a lot to do with EFC fighting, Richard. So, again, busy for you boys.
Of course, it's picking up nicely. Firstly, with the EFC, we do sponsor Fight Fit Militia. So we're very involved with them. And I'm looking forward to the EFC. The Fight Fit Militia's also given us quite a few tips. Some of them I agree with, some of them I don't.
Okay, do you agree with this one? This is Kutendana. Do you think he'll beat De Beer?
Yes, I do think Kutendana will beat De Beer. Kutendana can hit hard. He's got a good knockout record, so I've got to agree with him on that one.
What
And I
price
think
is he?
Well, we'll have a look.
He's
We'll have a look at
9
all
to
the
10,
betting
Terry, so
afterwards.
it's,
9 to
I
10?
don't know if it's a bit risky for you.
Yeah, yeah.
9 to 10, I like
Haven't
that.
you got any one-man fights so Terry can put it in?
Walkovers.
Fleming and Hassan. Okay, so Fight Fit Militia predict Fleming. By the way, does your brother work out of Fight Fit Militia? Because every time I go into social media, there's another picture of him in a vest that's a few sizes too small.
Who's wearing it? Warren?
Warren, yes.
Oh, really, yeah? Oh, wow.
Although he doesn't work out at Fight Fit Militia, even though he looks like he does.
Uh-huh.
And I work out at KFC.
Sure. Okay. I'm glad he's your brother and not just your boss. Lino against Trozy. Lino's predicted to win in that particular fight. By the way, what number EFC are we up to now?
We are EFC 60 now.
Okay, and where is it held tonight?
Tonight
Durban,
is...
isn't it?
Yeah, it's in Durban. Yeah.
Durban.
Okay, so for all our Durban,
okay,
I know
well,
there are a lot of people from Durban
this-
who watch this.
This Lino versus Trossi is the only ladies' fight of the night.
They're not
Believe me.
ladies. Yeah, they're not.
When she shows, she comes up all right.
These ladies can hit hard, I promise
Is
you.
it?
Lino should win that one. I agree with the Fight for Militia guys, and everyone's going for Lino on that fight.
Then Massanyani to beat the other Hassan. Are they brothers? Have the brothers ever fought, the Hassan brothers?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Not in the ring. I'm sure they fought growing up, right?
I'm sure they fought over a few birds back in the day.
Or toys when they were particularly young. There's one fight that I'm particularly interested in today, by the way. I wonder if it's going to come up now. Mudley. Can V win this, Gary?
V Mudley, yeah. I don't think V could beat Clark.
It would be a heavyweight, though,
He's
wouldn't
a
it?
bit, yeah. He's a bit short, Mudley. He's 4-10, but I think he should win. I mean, that's just what I think.
There's not much of a record with these guys, but I agree with the FFM guys. Mudley should win that. This fight's actually scratched. from what
Okay,
I'm
so
aware
we
of.
can move on.
We can move on to
that's,
that one.
That's been withdrawn. So here are all the prices, all the way down the page. De La Rey is 2 to 11. You probably don't have a shorter price all weekend, do you?
De La Rey is an unknown.
And he's 2 to 11. Richards
Richards got a good record. On that one, I have to go for Richards. He's got a proven track record. I think he's going to win this one.
3 to
3 to
1.
1.
There you go, eh?
Whoosh.
You got to tip it outside and
Just
out
put
again.
that there and remember that for next week.
I think people should phone up now, WSB, get on, and if Richards gets beaten, then at least phone the call centre tomorrow and complain about you.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm used to it.
Okay, so we've got the tip for Mudley. We've got the tip for Fleming as well. What else jumps off the page for anybody? Terry, have you got an... There's Maynard. Maynard used to be the heavyweight champion, didn't he?
Wasn't he on
My pick for that fight is Van Staden. These guys have both got a lot of knockouts to their name.
Uh-huh.
They're both heavy hitters. But Van Staden, the Fight for Militia guys can't tip him because he fights on a Fight for Militia.
Are you allowed to bite in these fights?
Pardon?
Are you allowed to bite? Do they bite each other? No?
No.
Is that illegal?
It is.
God.
It's not the Mike Tyson era anymore.
Well, they
But
do
Van-
everything else, don't they? Poke him in the eye and
But
everything.
Van Staden is a heavy hitter. I think he's going to win that fight. He's a great fighter, and he's fighting on a Fight for Militia. He's got a lot of knockouts to his name. I can't see Van Staden losing that fight.
Okay, so we got all of the business there from Richard about the EFC tonight. EFC 60 down in Durban, so get down there and support your favourite fights and have a bet on World Sports Betting. There are a few specials that we can talk about as well, and we're going to move into cricket as well for the RCC Champions Trophy. We're getting into the nitty-gritty of the group stages now, so let's now get into cricket, Gary and Rod. I want to bring you two back into the mix here. England against Australia.
Sure.
What's happening with the Aussies? 2 games played, 2 no results.
Well, they're where they should be. They got their 2 points. They should have beat Bangladesh, so they're okay, and they would have lost to New Zealand, who are on their way home. Big game for them, isn't it? And guys like Finchnet have been swinging like a rusty barn. He's going to have to... he looks terrible at the moment, doesn't he? But the trouble is with a player like that, Gary, he could just pop up today, and get 50 off 20 balls, and that's what he does. I think he's been putting a lot of pressure on Warner, because Warner hasn't been able to play his natural game. I don't know if you agree with that.
100%.
He's been having to try and, I lost a wicket early, let's settle down and go through, where he likes to be an explosive player. But in saying that, IPL, he's actually developed into quite a mature player now. Now he's captaining the side and he's really come on leaps and bounds.
But the competition need Australia in the semi-finals. Do you think England will roll over to them?
Well, they normally do, without even trying.
Well, I mean...
I don't think so. I mean, and I'll tell you something else. I mean,
What do
if you go to WSB now.
Yeah.
I looked at this last night. 28-10 Warner to be the top Australian batsman and 28-10 Steve Smith to be the top Australian batsman.
Yeah.
If you back them both, you're getting about 9-10 either or. And if you go back in the last few years, you would have made a lot of money with either of those two being their top scorer. I like that quite a lot, you know. I think one of those two get big runs today.
Well, and I think the other guys in the background, they've got to perform today. There's no, oh, we're sorry, can we have another chance? You're going home if you lose this game. England, you know, we've said from the start, they're a dangerous side. They're playing at home. They've got a lot of balance. Ben Stokes is a key player. Are they going to drop Jason Roy? Are they going to put in Bairstow?
37 runs, that's all he's achieved, eh?
Yeah.
37 runs. Would you put Bairstow in?
Well, Bairstow, who?
Bairstow?
Would you put in Bairstow? Yeah. I think he's a player in form. He's doing well. I mean, he doesn't have to keep, because I'd keep the guy. What's the keeper's name?
Josh Butler.
Yeah, I mean, he's too explosive.
But he's
a
good in the
batsman. You've got to
field.
keep him in.
He's brilliant in the field.
Yeah, no, I'd play him. I really would, because, I mean, Roy just hasn't got confidence at the moment. You know, he might come out and get 100 a day and everyone says,
Well, that's
"Oh,
what he
well."
said. I mean, the captain said that.
Yeah.
He said, look, we're going to stay with him
Yeah.
because he's due a big score, and he said he's what we want up front. And the way he plays is the way we want him to play.
Well, England are lucky out of the two pools, they're going to go through. Doesn't matter. But I think they want to beat Australia. I don't think if it was a game of marbles, they'd want to beat Australia. The rivalry between the two countries is high. I'm going to stick with Australia, and the only reason I mentioned last week, not because I'm an Australian, they seem to... What?
Really?
What?
Not because you're an Australian. you
No,
want them
but
to
everyone
win.
says, oh, you're just picking them. I'm telling you why.
If you take the team in form, you've got to pick England
Why?
because of the team
No,
in form.
I'm going on history. 7 major tournament wins to England's how many?
That was it. When?
Well, they won the last 4 of the last 5 World Cups.
Exactly, when?
Well, they can only win it when it comes up,
That's not
Terry.
now, is it?
They won the last
Not
one
now.
and the one before.
Doesn't matter what
and-
happened 2 years ago. or
Really,
3
this
years
is
ago.
exactly how the Joe Root David Warner fight began.
No,
Exactly, that's why he punched him in the bar.
But I agree with Rod. The Australians have a great record in big tournaments.
And they peak at the right time. They always look
do.
flat at the start and they come well. I mean, even though last week I tipped England to win the competition. By the way, how much activity is there with the Champions Trophy and World Sports Betting? I'm sure a lot of your clients are busy with the markets.
Look, it's packed. Obviously, and we are very, very busy live in play. Everyone likes to take bets as it's going on. I mean, if you watch any cricket match, you'll see the prices go up and down. It looks like a stock market graph. 2 to 1 and 3 balls later they...
Nothing,
Exactly, yeah.
nothing
10.
better, is there, than having a bet in running?
No.
Brilliant.
And a lot of time you can cover your bets. I mean, you can get... A lot of times in the cricket match, you can get over evens on both sides, so you can win.
what's the betting on this match?
9 to 10 the
9 to
pair.
10 the pair.
Which is fair. Which is, I think,
it's
is very
a pick 'em
fair.
game. I
because-
hope the weather doesn't get in. I just
Well,
hope
it's
get
gonna rain.
a fair crack at it. That's
Oh,
all.
well. And what about the South African game
Well, let's
on
talk.
Sunday?
Let's talk about
Gee,
that because that's a
huge game.
quarter-final, if ever there was.
Yeah.
And this is a question, Rod, of who's going to handle the pressure better.
Oh, you know, I mean, India looked poor, didn't they? They were disappointing.
8 to 10 India.
They were disappointing. But, you know, remember, they're not playing in India. They're playing in England. And I'll tell you what, if South Africa lose it, they're coming home with Australia.
Same
Could
as
be coming home
same
with
as
Australia.
India, Dave. India lose also coming up.
Exactly. So it's a hell of a game, isn't it? Where do you go with, I mean, South Africa, everyone talks about, you mentioned it before, having tea, which I'm not going to say it choking, but...
In the game.
I don't. No, well...
You said you're not going to mention that again with South Africa. You said last week.
Well, they do. What do you think? I mean, they get into positions where they should win the game or they should win the tournament. This side should win this tournament.
I'm going to say something controversial.
that makes a change.
AB de Villiers' captaincy
crap.
was...
Yeah. Well,
I wasn't quite going to go that far, but
I mean,
he shot himself in the
My
foot.
big concern about AB is he doesn't look like he wants to be there. He doesn't look like he even wants to be in South Africa. He looks like a man that's
Where does he want to
unhappy.
be?
Where does he
Gary?
want to be if he's not in
I
South
don't know. It
Africa?
doesn't look like he wants to be here.
He wants to be at the game park with you.
Yeah,
Does he?
His guitar.
You know, first of all, I
The
thought it was a poor
Buffaloes.
decision to bat first when there was rain around on a pitch that I thought, just from TV, looked a little bit sticky. You know what I'm saying? And then he hasn't. When was the last time AB got runs?
But he's due for a big
No,
score.
he is.
So is de Kock.
And Alistair's due to come out with a girl, but neither of them are going to
Yeah,
happen.
but nothing's guaranteed.
Impressed with David Miller last week. I mean, during the week, even though they'd lost, he put up a really good, mature innings, didn't he? I mean, he really batted well. I mean, he wants to break the shackles, that guy, because he can hit the ball as far as anyone in the world, David Miller. He really is a big hitter.
The thing is, the thing with South Africa is often in these tournaments they start off, they destroy everyone. When it comes to knockout stages, they go down.
What do you call that? I'm not allowed to use that
You're not
word.
allowed to
You think
use
this time
choker.
is different, right?
Peaking at the wrong time.
What do you think
But
that
the thing is, I mean, I think a condition suits us. I think De Villiers and De Kock are due for big scores. I think South Africa are going to win this.
Okay, you're right in saying that De Villiers and De Kock are due big scores. Isn't Virat Kohli also due a big score, Gary?
Absolutely
Been in
right.
form. I mean, you know, him and De Villiers, their form's been poor together, you know what I'm saying? He hasn't come right since he hurt his shoulder.
Well, both of them
Kohli.
played in the IPL together,
never
didn't
did
they?
well then,
And-
did
no,
they?
they had a poor season. Yeah.
India are 8 to 10, and South Africa are even money.
Yeah, so it's also
they're
almost equal.
favourites.
No,
India.
actually,
Not
you'll
much
see,
in
I've
it.
tipped South Africa. I think they'll rise to the occasion.
So
I
do
really
I.
do. I think they'll win this game, and I think they might win it comfortably. India, well, no, I just think you look at South Africa's bowler. Morkel's bowling well, you know, and he bowls a heavy ball, that guy. The only danger with him
What
when
does
you
that
bring...
mean, by the way?
What
heavy ball.
Well, it's like when they weighed me out from the game.
No,
park.
we
Every
know
time when you
that,
started-
I mean-
no, well, it just you hit the pitch hard and it hits the splice of the bat.
Harder.
Like Brian, give you an example. Brian McMillan bowled a really heavy ball. It might have been the quickest going around, but when you faced him, it really smashes into the bat. So, does that help you?
Yeah, I just wanted you, I heard their interpretation. It was nothing what you've just told me. That's why I asked you.
Okay.
All right, so that's cricket pretty much done and dusted. There's also a big game on Sunday between Sri Lanka and Pakistan, also effectively a quarter-final. One of those will be going home, one of those will be staying behind. Before we bid Richard farewell, let's just touch on a few of the specials that World Sports Betting are offering. Durban July special. We now, a couple of weeks away from the Vodacom Durban July. And you guys are doing your thing. There's the anti-post special that you guys have on offer.
Yeah, what the anti-post special means, obviously a lot of the time with your Durban July bets, you take a bet with a bookmaker, your horse gets scratched, you lose your stake. What we're offering now is, if you back your horse anti-post before the final field's announced in the Durban July, and it gets scratched from the final field, we will refund your money back.
That's
in
brilliant,
free
that.
bets.
In other words, what
So
you're
playing
saying
risk-free.
with all the big racing coming up, we're going to get Dom on right now. With all the big racing coming up, today is the day to do this. Get involved.
Yeah.
If you like a horse at a big price, Gary,
Any
you can't
horse
miss.
that's running today,
Yes.
if you're going to back it for the
That's
July,
borderline.
You have to, even if it's not borderline, because it can run, it can pull a, it can chip a knee, anything today. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? If you're going to back horse for the July that's running today, the only place to do it genuinely is WSB, because if it runs a poor race today, which most of them will, they can't all run good races, right?
Yes.
It will be just pulled out on Monday, and then you're going to get your money
So
back.
if you don't make the final lineup, you don't even qualify. You still get your cash back?
That's
cash
correct.
So when's the cut-off for that? When's the final fields out?
When is
2 weeks
Gets
time.
announced on
Monday week.
Tuesday.
Tuesday week.
Tuesday.
The thing is, you're going to get a much bigger price now.
Yeah.
Got to get on today.
Just want to, have you priced up the Confederations Cup yet?
Who's that?
8 of the top football teams in the world are playing. Starts next
What,
week.
New Zealand
Terry, we've
and
priced
Africa?
up,
No,
we've
no.
priced up everything. Whatever, any sport you can think
Because I
of.
said on the show last night on the radio show,
Oh,
I said that
geez, why don't you
I
get
said
better
you
play?
priced up. I thought you priced
Of
up.
course,
I actually wish we were getting rid
anything
of
can
you.
think of,
Confederation,
we've
brilliant, matey.
Who
Great
plays in that? Who
tournament.
plays in that? Who's any good?
Argentina, Portugal, Germany as the winners, Russia the home side, Mexico from
New
South
Zealand,
America.
Iraq,
Great.
and
And all the
Ivory
good players are
Coast.
sitting there now thinking of excuses why they don't have to pitch up next week. You know,
Quite right.
do I say it's a calf? Do I say it's an ankle?
All right, now we've got to take a break. We're going to bid Richard farewell. Thanks very much for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yep. And Dom's up next. He's going to give us Dom's hot bomb for Doombin race number 8 after this clue for Techie Time.
This July, stand a chance to win an all-inclusive trip to the Melbourne Cup in Australia with the World Sports Betting July 6. Place any racing bet of R50 or more before the 1st of July 2017 to enter. Great consolation prizes up for grabs. Predict the first 6 horses to cross the line in the July and win. Enter now at www.wsb.co.za. Terms and conditions apply. World Sports Betting. Bet with the best.
So we're back, and we are going to be chatting about racing, and a lot more racing on this particular segment of the show. Maybe even squeeze in a little bit of Formula One. And yep, so as I said, racing, and more racing coming up. We've got the Rising Sun Gold Challenge, we've got the Cup Trial, and we've got Doomben race number 8. And speaking of winners last week, we got a winner on this couch who's...
when we get him fixed up with a mic. Is this going to take long, by the way? You can see his chest.
Right, absolutely brilliant. Let's have a look at Dom's best bet slide. We've got that standing by and see what we can establish out of all that. Back Dom's top Australian tip for the day, which we'll find out what it is in the next few minutes. And if a selection does not run a place, we will refund your stake in free bets.
Goodness
and then we're also going to
gracious.
chat about Vodacom Durban July, Rising Sun Gold Challenge and all the feature races out at Greyville today. There's also World Sports Betting's Donkey Luck special. Back any odds-on favourites and receive your stake back in free bets should your selection run second to another horse with an SP of 25 to 1 or greater. So for example today in the Rising Sun Gold Challenge, let's say for example Marinaresco gets back to 9 to 10, gets beaten by a 25 to 1 shot. Let's say Saratoga Dancer drifts out to 25 to 1, then you'll get your stake back. Right, Dom, so you untied yourself. Well done last week, 18 to 1 double.
Yeah.
You put World Sports Betting on their knees.
Yeah, well, they asked for it, so we did it. So. But, Alistair, just going back to the promotion they're offering for the Australian race, it's unbelievable. You put up to 2,000 Rand, your bet's 2,000 Rand, and below that, you get your money back if the horse doesn't run in the first four. So, I don't, it's
unlikely that it's going to happen.
It's a no-brainer, yeah.
The way you tipping is unlikely. They're not going to have to get this stake back. They're just going to collect the winnings, right?
Yeah, well, we hope.
Only as
So
good as your last bet.
today they throw me in the deep end. It's 21 runners in the race. I see, thank God, there were 6 scratched.
Yes.
And
Are you down to 21 or are you down to 15
no,
now?
there was 21 runners in the race. Now the 6 scratched, so we're down to 15. Yeah.
Very good.
Sure, I'm glad you got 15 out because for a while I could just see the calculator going in the head. Let's have a look at that betting for Doomben race number 8 and find out who Dom likes. So last week you found us Egg Tart and the other one,
Oh, egg tart.
name escapes me. What have you got this time round, Dom?
Alistair, we did a lot of studying on the internet this last couple of days, and
As much as
you
last
can see
week?
all the fields and the tips and the selections and the verdicts and whatnot. Yeah, and yeah, it's not an easy race. It's a Group 1 once again.
Sure.
I think it's $1.5 million again in stakes.
How much is that in our currency, Rod?
Oh, geez, buy Port Elizabeth, burn it down and rebuild it. No, it's times 10, obviously. So 15
10 there, 10 to 1.
Yeah.
I was there at 5.
Yeah, so it's not an easy race this week. Last week wasn't easy, but
Jeez,
we
you
came
made it.
through with flying colours. But let's hope that we can do the same this week. My selection this week is Macintosh.
Yes.
I see it's 5 to 1 on World Sports Betting. It has been, I've looked at the market movers up in Australia. It has been supported from $7 to $5 in Australia. And it's drawn 1. It's coming off, the only thing, it's coming off a long layoff this time. And but at the end of the day, in Australia, they do trial barriers. So it's had 3 or 4 trial barriers and came through with flying colours.
Okay.
How far is the race?
So 1350.
13.50.
Well, we've only got 4 minutes to know our fate with Macintosh. And before we get over to Doomben, I want to ask Dom about today's racing and the Vodacom Durban July. Last weekend, a lot of answers were given. We now know which 3-year-olds are the real deal, with Al Sahem and Edict of Non. So you can only be impressed. And they're top of the boards with World Sports Betting.
Correct, yeah. Those 3-year-olds are the ones to watch for the July. They came through with flying colours. The prep went superb. And we did tip them on the show. We made them first and second on last week's show. This week, it's not that easy. The Rising Sun Challenge, Gold Challenge, is up. This is the last time the guys can prep their horses for the July and qualify their horses for the July. So I think we got the Cup Trial. We got the Cup Trial. Okay, let's start with Marinaresco.
Well, I think the big thing with this race, to bear testament to this race, is that out of 17 runners, including the 3 reserves, there are 14 equine millionaires in the field, Gary. I mean, that's the mark of a proper field. They're Group 1 winners from top to bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're really good horses there. Group 1 winning horses there. Dia Javenti at 20 to 1. You know, how much is Group 1 winner?
French Navy got blinkers on for the first time,
Who else?
Gary. French Navy.
Oh, really, yeah?
Got blinkers on for the first
Where
time.
did you see that?
20 to 1.
Where did you
I
see
go
that?
through all the fields, matey. I'm not just like you.
Someone's told you,
You've
isn't
got
it?
to have a look, matey. You've got to study them.
But there are horses there that are still in the July field, like Brazuca.
Yes.
Is he going to stay in on Monday?
Well, he's high up. When I say high up on the log,
on the log. He is high up,
Yes.
surprisingly, you know. But I mean, does he as high up as he is? Does he still have to perform today to keep his position on the log?
I think he definitely does, because
Definitely.
the
Yeah,
horses
exactly.
just outside, like Black Arthur, Nebula, Liege, who runs tomorrow, Dom.
Yes.
All these horses are hell-bent on getting in the July. So almost a bad performance from a horse like Brazuca will kind of bring them down. And if Nebula, Black Arthur or Liege run above themselves, then they're pretty much in.
Which means that guys have to go to WSB now and back the Black Arthurs and Nebulas for the July, right?
Yes.
Because if they don't perform this
Their
weekend,
last chance now.
this is it. They have to. They have to
They will
perform.
Get your cash back.
Get your cash back.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they don't make the field. So what do you like today in those big races at Greyville, Dom?
With the Rising Sun
Yeah.
Gold Challenge, I like the well-weighted horse Marinaresco. I think on the weights, it's going to be hard to beat it from a good draw. It's doing well. His prep's gone perfectly for the July, winning the Drill Stakes last time. Marinaresco is the horse to beat.
Yes.
Captain America, Make the Danger,
Yeah.
also well-weighted. Also prepping for the July. And
Captain America cost me last time. Yeah, cost me
also
a bit bucks.
prepping for the July.
Yeah.
Must have a chance. But if it all goes well, and on black and white, Marin and Esco should trash the field.
Okay.
And I think, my personal feeling, I could be wrong, Bella is the only runner in the July that's got a chance. And she's got to come to the party today as well. We'll see but all will be revealed today, and Monday morning the betting is going to change, and a few horses are going to be out. And it's today's the day. And the Cup trial,
Yep.
Black Arthur, I think we give him another chance. Last time was too short, needed to run badly. It's going to run well today. I think Black Arthur will win.
Yep.
I make Elusive Silver the danger, give him another chance. Last time in the yielding going wasn't 100% suited to the going and whatnot. So we'll see today what happens. And then tomorrow, obviously, the Jubilee. So we'll see what happens in the Jubilee.
Okay, that's pretty much racing done and dusted. We are going to cross over to Doomben. We're going to shout home Macintosh. And after this, Liam Delcon will come and join us to chat about rugby and football, Terry.
Thank goodness.
and Good Project, and then Hofgarten Allman, followed by In Her Time, and there's Kaepernick going forward from Egyptian Symbol. Macintosh out wider, Darren going down with Gold Symphony, and Impending followed by Jungle Edge. So Impending, Jungle Edge and Gold Symphony, and then Darren on the inside, In Her Time's out wider from Macintosh. And a break on the field to Egyptian Symbol and Kaepernick, being followed next there by Hofgarten going down with Ullman. And then Good Project hooked. And further down to Counter Attack, Burning Front and Clearly Innocence. So Clearly Innocent, Burning Front and Counter Attack, followed by Hooked. And there's Ullman passing Good Project. A break on the field then to Egyptian Symbol, Kaepernick out wider. Hofgarten, Darren going down. Being followed by Impending and Gold Symphony. And In Her Time and Macintosh, followed by Jungle Edge. So Jungle Edge and Macintosh, In Her Time. Gold Symphony Impending, and they're being followed by Hofgarten, Darren out wide, a counter attack from Kaepernick, Good Project and Clearly Innocent. Burning Front, Hooked and Allman, and Egyptian Symbol. And Regace has now left the enclosure there for Damien Lane. So Regace on his way up there. Jungle Edge and Regace. Jungle Edge, Regace. And there's Macintosh and In Her Time, and also going down to the barrier stalls. Here's a counter attack and Impending, and there's Hofgarten, Hooked and Good Project and Burning Front. Allman, Clearly Innocent and Gold Symphony. And then we've got Darren, Kaepernick and also Egyptian Symbol. Egyptian Symbol, Kaepernick and Darren the outside, Gold Symphony Impending, Clearly Innocent, Burning Front, Good Project, Hooked, Allman, Hofgarten, counter attack. And a break in the field to Regace going over, being followed by Macintosh. Jungle Edge, In Her Time. So Jungle Edge, In Her Time and Macintosh, and there's Hooked and Allman on the outside. Hofgarten, Burning Front and counter attack, and Good Project being followed by Impending, Clearly Innocent. A break, Regace going over, Gold Symphony, Darren's improving on the inside. Egyptian Symbol and Kaepernick as well as they arrive at the gates. So they're not far from moving in. Clearly Innocent, the Stradbroke favourite at 5.30, ahead of McIntosh at 6.10. Counter Attack $7. Allman 8.10, a jump to $12 about Darren. And they're not far from moving in. So Hooked and Regis with Egyptian Symbol, Hofgarten and Counter Attack behind the stalls. In her time, McIntosh, Good Project and Darren down there with Impending Gold Symphony. And Kaepernick, Jungle Edge arriving down there, Burning Front, Allman and Clearly Innocence. So they're about to come in for the UBET Stradbroke Handicap for 2017. So Hooked is down there, Burning Front, Good Project, Impending, Counter Attack, and also down there Kaepernick, and there's McIntosh in her time. Gold Symphony, Allman and Hofgarten with Clearly Innocent, Regis, and blue caps on both Darren and Egyptian Symbol. Now they're about to move in, so Impending, Hooked and Good Project down there, McIntosh and Counter Attack, Burning Front, Jungle Edge, Hofgarten, Allman, Clearly Innocent, Regis. And we've got Egyptian Symbol and Kaepernick down there as well. In her time with the Clerk of the Course and Gold Symphony with Darren. About to move in, Clearly Innocent, the Stradbroke favourite. Drawn from barrier 15 to jump from one from the outside. Now Counter Attack the first to move in. Burning Front's about to come up. Hofgarten, Impending, Regis and McIntosh to move in. Thanks, Andrew. And they're moving in well. McIntosh about to join the line. I've got a blue cap on Egyptian Symbol to distinguish from Clearly Innocent and a blue cap on Darren to distinguish from Kaepernick here. So blue caps, Egyptian Symbol and Darren. Kaepernick joining the line. We wait for Allman, Impending to move in with Regis and Good Project, Egyptian Symbol, Jungle Edge, Clearly Innocence. In her time, Gold Symphony, Hooked and Darren. So the Stradbroke favourite, Clearly Innocent, $4.90 on the tote, $6.30 about hot, $6.30 for McIntosh, second favourite, $7 Counter Attack, $8.40 for Allman, and then $13 for both Burning Front and Darren. So the second running of our great race here at this track in the last few years. Doomben has been unbelievable with the workload it's copped, and it's really been a shining light. I know all the talk about Eagle Farm, but this track here at Doomben has been incredible. Now, Impending about to come up. Good Project in her time. Egyptian Symbol to move in with Gold Symphony and also Hooked. Darren, Regis and Clearly Innocence. So there's about 7 to move in for the Stradbroke over 13.50. In her time was a great run in the 10,000. She's about to move in with Egyptian Symbol, and that will leave Gold Symphony. Hooked, Darren, Clearly Innocence and Regis to move in, so about 5 to come up. Good money for Clearly Innocent, 6 into 480 QAP, 480 tote favourite as well. Counter Attack at 680. McIntosh has been a drifter on track, 650 on the tote, and Allman is at 850. Now Hooked goes up, Regis about to move in, Clearly Innocent and Darren will be amongst the last ones to move in. So 3 to go forward. Regis about to go up. McIntosh has got the inside barrier. Clearly Innocent from barrier 15 about to go forward, and Darren's got the blue cap to complete the line. So 2 to move in. And we'll be right to go for Queensland's great race, the UBAT Stradbroke Handicap. So the blue capped at Darren, the last to go forward, 13.50 the distance. Favourite is Clearly Innocent. And they've all moved in, so stand by for a start. Red lights on. Set now. Right to go, gates open, racing in the UBAT Stradbroke Handicap, and Counter Attack has missed the start. He's come out last there. Hofgarten was away well with Jungle Edge and Burning Front. They're the first 3. 4th is Good Project and 5th is McIntosh. Allman next and Hooked on the outside from In Her Time. Egyptian Symbol, Counter Attack and Regis out very wide there in company with Gold Symphony. Kaepernick's over on the inside of Impending. Clearly Innocent had to go back to second last on the outside, and Darren last of all, about 9 lengths off Jungle Edge, led by length and a quarter from Burning Front. Hofgarten. Next is Good Project in her time out wide. Strides up a length and a half to Hooked on the outside. Regis has been very wide. McIntosh inside Allman. Next on the outside, Gold Symphony from Impending. Counter-attacks over on the inside. Egyptian Symbol losing ground, being passed by Clearly Innocent on the outside. And the final couple are Darren and Kaepernick at the 400 metres mark. Jungle Edge, Burning Front in her time, goes up to make a line of 3. Hofgarten's over on the inside. Good Project gets out. McIntosh over on the inside, but in her time at the 250, led by length and a half. Impending out of the pack down the outside. Good Project is still there. In her time's in front. Impending on the outside with 100 metres left to go. Late Clearly Innocent, but it's Impending reaching the lead near the line. And Impending's won the Stradbroke from in her time and Clearly Innocent. Fourth in counter attack, and then Good Project from Burning Front. Egyptian Symbol, McIntosh, Kaepernick, Gold Symphony, Hofgarten, Darren, Ullman, Hooked, Jungle Edge. Regis was last. It's Impending Stradbroke. Number 16, the winner. Corey Brown for Darren Beedman. Darren's biggest win as a trainer, no doubts. Corey Brown has booted home Impending to victory in the UBET Stradbroke. What about the run of In Her Time? 3 wide, shot to the front, but has been run down late, and Clearly Innocent has done a wonderful job. Had to go back, of course, from the gate, and he's run home into 3rd placing. But it's Godolphin Stradbroke. Impending is the winner. Corey Brown, Darren Beedman.
This July, stand a chance to win an all-inclusive trip to the Melbourne Cup in Australia with the World Sports Betting July 6. Place any racing bet of R50 or more before the 1st of July 2017 to enter. Great consolation prizes up for grabs. Predict the first 6 horses to cross the line in the July and win. Enter now at www.wsb.co.za. Terms and conditions apply. World Sports Betting. Bet with the best.
Right, we're back, and don't forget, with McIntosh running a disappointing race, you will get your stake back through World Sports Betting, obviously, if you follow that special. So I suppose no damage done at the end of that all, as Dom's record now drops down to 66%, which is unacceptable. Right, let's now move into Liam Delcom and welcome him to the show as we get into all the international rugby this weekend. Liam, finally the talking is over. Everyone's promised that 2017 will be better for the Springboks, and now it's time to talk the talk and walk the walk.
Well, it's the real thing, unlike what Warren Gatland seemed to have suggested in the week, saying that he doesn't anticipate the All Blacks to be much different from the Super Rugby lineups that they're likely to face. I reckon it'll be very, very different, once that series gets underway.
I'm not too sure.
But it'll be a tough assignment today for them against the Crusaders.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about those rugby rankings. I think maybe Warren Gatland does have a point, because the World Rugby have announced the latest world rankings, and this is how they look, with New Zealand far in front. Gary, I mean, let's be honest, the Lions do have a tough task, but the Crusaders, Hurricanes, Chiefs, Highlanders and Blues all ahead of the home nations.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is the Lions do have a tough task. I'm not sure. He hasn't put out his best side yet. He's looking for his combinations. Give him that chance. Yeah. And he did go there to win the Test series.
Yes.
He's going to fail. There's no doubt about that, But, I mean, there is a horrible chance that this British Lions side doesn't win another match there.
Well,
There's every chance.
There's
of
every
that.
chance.
I was
Exactly.
just saying, I looked at the betting there. I mean, wouldn't you want a little bit of 3-0 New Zealand, England? And it was
absolutely.
quite a decent price, I saw too.
It was 8.5 to 10 last week. I haven't seen
Was
it this
it?
week. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I would even stretch it as far as they won't win another game, because that'll be, 9 defeats in a row if it comes to
That'd be a record,
Because
Liam?
they won the first one.
that was against 7
and they were
professionals.
That
They
was
were
literally
unclose as
against
well,
the
yeah.
5 of us and 10 mates.
Yeah. Look, that team was fired up, though, you have to say.
And they have climbed up to 10th on the world rankings, as we have just seen.
Who? The Barbarians.
Yeah, the provincial
Provincial
barbarian
Barbarians.
side.
Okay.
But I think all this hype, all this 4-year build-up for the big tour to New Zealand for the British and Irish Lions, they're starting to fall flat. I mean, you'd think that balloon is now deflated.
Look, it's always been about hype. If you look at the talent that you have in the Isles at the moment, England have done very well, obviously. Ireland's on the up and up. Wales have probably slipped down the rankings a little bit. Scotland's better than they were a year or two ago. So that obviously in itself created a little bit of hype. But you don't need a lot before British and Irish Lions series for people to talk it up, because they have to, because it's become a little industry. You have to talk it up. You have to sell tickets. You have to get people on planes, in hotel rooms. So there is that element as well.
Is the next Lions tour here?
Yes.
Yes.
So it does go in that cycle. It goes Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. So they come. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of people go.
Eddie
watch that.
Jones's comments coming to fruition now, where he said they're not going to play the right style of game against New Zealand.
It almost doesn't matter what style they play, because ultimately the All Blacks will play what they play, and there's very little you can do to stop that once they start clicking.
Do you think the problem is that if you kick the ball away to this New Zealand side, any of the New Zealand sides, I mean, they just counter-attack from anywhere, don't they?
If you try to play a controlled game where you kind of try and stick to 10-man rugby, the only way you're going to advance on the scoreboard is, even if your forwards dominate,
Penalties.
you're going to get penalties. You're going to get 4 or 5 penalties in a match.
Yeah.
Are you going to keep the other side out prevent them from scoring 3 tries? You're probably not.
Well, South Africa learnt that lesson, didn't
Yeah.
they? Especially in the Super 18 last year, when they were trying to kick points to win. And then New Zealand was saying, well, if you don't score 30 points, you can't beat us.
Yeah.
I'll just say this. I was having a discussion earlier in the week. The only thing why you can't get too cocky, if you go back to the World Cup, where, let's be perfectly honest, New Zealand were comfortably 30 points better than South Africa. In test match conditions and things get tight, they still only beat us by 2 points. And that happens in test match rugby. Sometimes the side that's not as good, they got some really quality
And
players.
a knockout environment as well.
Exactly, and a guy gets sent off. Things can happen. So, maybe the Lions will fluke aside. They've got some quality football players there, that's for sure. They've got some really quality rugby players. Can he put it together that they can gel as a team and frighten the All Blacks?
They probably need a moment like, what was it, the 2005
Moment
tour,
silent they probably get.
when Brian O'Driscoll got tip tackle, that was him out for the series.
Yes. Do you think they had a target on his back? Because there's a lot of talk about it now, especially with the Blues game having gone. Tano Umaga got roasted about that. Do you think
Yeah.
that was a target on O'Driscoll's back going
Not
into that?
necessarily. I mean, he was there for the taking, and 2 guys got a hold of him and
Took him.
smashed him. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's have a look at that betting for today. And I know that there are a lot of people out there that believe Warren Gatland's not really exposing his hand. He's got his cards close to his chest.
I would do the same if I was him. I mean, this match don't lose by a huge margin, because you still want players to be vaguely
surely-
confident going forward.
Rod
but
and Terry, you guys, I want to bring you in here.
Well,
You guys
Terry,
played.
no.
The point is, you guys played sports at a very, very high level, the international level, the highest possible level. Is that a good idea to go into a huge series and before that to think, oh no, I'm not going to expose my hand. I don't want my players to give it their absolute best.
Well, I don't know about you, Terry, but
Well,
we never
I-
went out to lose a game. I
Well,
don't know
that's
if you-
right. I mean, I don't think whatever you put out
Yeah.
and whatever team or whoever you're facing, you always want to win that game regardless. Now, whether he picks the strongest side to play these, that's another matter.
Exactly.
And obviously he's mixing and matching, I would imagine, at the moment.
Correct.
And I wouldn't think, as a coach, he'd be too worried, provided they didn't get an absolute thumping. If it's a close game, 18-16, I think he'd probably come into that reasonably happy. If they win 18-60, he'd be delighted. But you always want to win it.
Yeah, of
but
course.
there's bigger fish to fry down the road. And at the end of the day, if he won a couple of those test matches, you forget about the
for
Blues.
sure.
Correct.
Hold on.
I mean, and you'd also be loath to sort of admit that the team that plays the Crusaders or plays the Chiefs is his best side, because once he does that
Exactly.
and they
Yeah.
lose,
Yeah, then
what
he's
does he do?
But I'm
exposed.
going to say this about him. I don't think any sportsman goes out there trying to lose, you know what I'm saying? Especially in rugby, where if you don't get in stuck and you're going to get hurt. But he doesn't put together his best combinations. right? He's not going crook. He's looking for his best combination and everything. I'm going to go as far as saying that his first test side will not have more than 10 players from any side that he's played in his first 3 games.
Gary,
His starting lineup.
he'll know his
He already has a fair
wouldn't he?
idea
He'll
of
have a
what I think.
fair
Yeah,
idea.
I think, like, for argument's sake, I think that obviously the English lock is going to start, right? He's not
Itoje.
there today. But he's probably going to start with Conor Murray and...
Sexton.
No, I don't think so.
Well, Sexton had a poor game last
I think he's going to start with Farrell, right?
Poor game.
And I
Didn't
think
you
so.
see
Saying
it?
they'll all creep in and he'll put it together for the first test, and only then will you see his plan.
But don't you think the guys who are trying to get aside, like if you're saying he might have 10 that he's penciled in and they're going to be my starting lineup, there might be a couple still fighting for positions, and they're certainly going to go out there and try their best to show pick me.
The Lions Tour is probably the only environment where players can still work their
Get
way
into
into
it,
it
see,
because there
yeah.
are so many matches. You don't find it anywhere else.
I think that's going to happen. I think that when he went there, Sexton was probably his first choice, and so was Conor Murray. I think both of them are under huge pressure now to start. I thought the Welsh fly half stood out in a poor performance early in the week, and I think that Farrell plays well today. He'll start. But to go back to today's game, where were they punting?
Yeah.
The truth is, +3.5, the British Lions, is the biggest plus that you can get anywhere in the world, and that's at WSB, right? Everywhere else, it's 1.5. So if you fancy the British Lions and Gatlin to improve them, that's the place to get on.
Already there's talk of Teo possibly starting at inside centre with Farrell in at fly-off. And you can see why that happens because they're English.
The English connection, yeah.
They're going to
Now I'm gonna say
play
something
that
stupid.
combination.
Whoa, but nothing changes. Then. Carry on,
Tim's
then.
stupid comment this morning.
Yeah, go on. Then.
Which
It's
one?
another one. Carry on.
No. Would you be brave enough to tip the Lions against the Crusaders who are undefeated in Super Rugby? You could take that Lions side and probably play them against most Test sides, right? Sorry,
Only if the Crusaders,
yeah.
this is even more stupid than what you just said.
Okay.
Only if the Crusaders don't want to show their hand. This game.
But they also got position to play for. They got a big squad
Exactly.
at this stage. The All Blacks have got a big squad, and only 15 of them are going to run on in 2 weeks' time. You know what I'm saying?
I think
they're going to try their hardest as
also
well.
what we saw on Wednesday is that every game that the Blues have played at Eden Park this season have been half full. On Wednesday, every single person in Auckland went to go watch their game. So these franchises are not messing around. They want to put the Lions in their place.
And they've got 3 games in Auckland, haven't
Yes.
they?
Yeah, they've got
2
two. They've
tests.
got the 2 tests there as well.
Is anyone brave enough to tip Lions? If you tip them, you would have. Is anyone who knows what's going on?
New
tip them?
Zealand are 1 to 10. Of course he hasn't.
To win today's game.
No, today's game.
Oh.
Today's game. Who did you...
Who do they play? I haven't got a clue.
Oh,
who
well,
they play.
see, that's why you need
Crap.
to... I even follow the soccer a bit.
Yeah, bit.
Yeah.
Did you hear what happened to your man yesterday, by the way?
Who's my man?
Brommer.
Yeah.
I know, what's happened to him?
It's on his bike.
They didn't even keep
They haven't
his
renewed his
contract.
Are
contract.
you joking?
Yeah.
Because he's done the knee, they reckon he's going to be too
No,
slow.
I told him they
Gone,
don't need
mate.
another 43-year-old
You're
back
Gone.
there.
But he won't play to 2018. So how can you pay £360,000 a week to a guy who's not going to appear?
£360,000
£1,000 a week
'Cause there was no
to a
transfer
guy
fee.
who's not going to play to 2018. On your way.
So what's happening?
Nothing free agent, and he come good. He make yourself another 10 million somewhere. He's 36 now, by the way.
All right, let's stick with rugby, though, and chat
Yeah,
about today's
thank
game
you.
at Loftus Versfeld. Rod's going, and he's going to be practicing his South African
going, Rod?
accent.
I'm there.
Have you got your South
really?
African accent ready?
Yarnia, yeah. Will I fit in?
They could think you're French. That's the problem with that one, you know.
Just say we.
I've got that
I
problem.
know you
now.
have. I know that's why.
Are you taking an Uber there?
No, we're driving. Going to drive, go there early and try and find a little restaurant to have a bit of lunch and a refreshment.
Isn't there a curtain raiser? Or they say start playing a curtain raiser there today or not?
No.
Oi, I told somebody that he's leaving at 11:30.
Brilliant. Okay, Liam. So South
on,
Africa's
Liam.
first game of 2017. They've got 10 games this year, as opposed to however many we played last year, and we lost 8.
12. Yeah, 12 last year.
Yes. So how are we going to start against the 5th choice French side?
It is a weakened French side, there's no question. If you compare that team, the team that runs out today, to the one that last played, the one that would have played against Wales in the Six Nations, there are 10 changes to the starting lineup. Guy Noves, their coach, has opted not to select any of the players who played in last weekend's top 14 final. They will come in to the reckoning next week for the second test. So I think France is setting out their stall more for the second test.
Goodness me, how
To
many
try and win.
players are in their squad? 62.
It's a big-ish squad. I mean, it's not much bigger than your normal squad. So there will be a few players who will rest this week, including their captain. They're not playing their regular captain.
Is that the leading kicker who scored the most points in the Six Nations?
No.
Yeah.
That's stupid. That's another stupid.
No,
that's another
Camille,
stupid
you
one.
probably talk about Camille Lopez. He plays for Clermont,
Yeah.
but he has an injury anyway, so he's not on tour.
See,
Yeah, but I'm saying
He would have been in the squad had he
was
not
the
been
leading
injured.
scorer in the Six Nations, wasn't he? Scored the most. Well,
don't think so.
Which the article I read.
No, possibly. Well, he's not on tour, so they're going to go with Jules. They're going to go with Jules Clisson, who is not known for his
he
kicking.
knows his rugby.
I'm telling you, I read it this morning on News 24.
Yeah, well played, matey.
They're going with Plisson at Flair, who's not the...
Plisson.
Plisson.
Oh, yeah.
Jules Plisson. Please. Who is an unreliable kicker, so he probably won't take their shots at goal. That will be left to Marchano. So I think that could be a factor for them as well. I think
So how
they
far?
might struggle.
We all think South Africa's going to win.
South Africa will win by more than 10 points.
Sure.
Sure.
Gary,
And
do you
the
agree with
spread is
that?
2.5.
Look, South
We
Africa...
focused on France. Let's shift the focus to South Africa. Complete garbage.
Yeah, we start from a low base, obviously, from last year.
Never
what
a
you
truer
think of
word
them?
has actually been spoken on this show.
Go
Are you
on, Gary.
basing it on the Italian game? Because they're
No, I'm just saying, I don't see...
How many new
There's just
caps
two-
are in the side?
There's 4 people that haven't played for Springboks before. I don't know. To me, this isn't a side that I look at it and think, wow, we're going to come there. I don't know if that side exists in South Africa. I don't think it does.
what a wow one.
A wow side. I don't think we have that. We have a few wow players. But I'm just worried about some of the Super Rugby form that's going into this team.
There are clearly a few players there that
I mean,
are desperately lucky.
I
to
worry
be-
about the front row. I worry that this pack's going to get pushed around. There's a massive French target there. To me, the beast is coming towards the end of his career. He may get hammered today. And if he gets hammered and they give away penalties at scrum time and there's indiscretions,
The
it
bloke
could
you're
still be a
talking
long
about, his
afternoon.
name is Winnie Antonio.
And he's anything but a weenie.
He's,
That's the
yeah, he's proper. He's from Samoan extraction. He was born in New Zealand, has been playing in France since 2011, did the 3-year qualification. He was the heaviest forward at the last Rugby World Cup, 145 kilograms, but he's a little leaner now.
Yeah.
But I think Beast will have his
That's
hands full.
twice
There's
as
no
heavy, isn't
question.
Exactly.
France's best scrummager is not playing in this test. He's still recovering from injury. He's on
Sorry?
tour.
Their best scrummage is not the 155 kilo.
No, he's not. Every time Rabah Slimani has come on for France, he's improved the scrum.
Sure.
So the Boks are kind of lucky that he's not playing.
Are we getting too excited about South Africa? Because, why are we
No, I
excited
don't think
about
there's
it?
necessarily a lot of excitement. I just think France won't be up for this game. If they were able to pick their best side
Sure.
for the first test, then I would not say.
So what are
obviously
you
my
saying? If
prediction
they
would not
can't
be very
beat
different.
this side, then that's ticket for
Then,
them.
then the second test is going to be hell.
There's one other thing that concerns me the most, and this is when you see my best bet, why I've done it, and you'll know this better than me. Historically, South Africa start slowly.
And France have a history of sneaking. Well, a first test. yeah, that's the
Exactly,
other
and we
thing.
do start slowly. I mean, if you go back to Ireland, I can think of many tests where it
to
happened.
Italy
Jay.
at the end of the tour.
What's that? We start slowly and get worse.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
Well, there can't be excuses after this test if they South Africa put in a poor performance, because the coach has been talking about their preparation being much better. They had the camp in Plettenberg Bay for a week and a bit. They've been together as a group for almost 2 weeks. That their prep is a lot better now than it was a year ago.
What about his comments, though? He's come out and said, oh, now, a year later, we're going to play Lion-style rugby. What about these comments
Did he really
now?
say that?
Yes, he did. He came out during the week and said they're going to play Lion-style
Look, he's got
rugby.
more Lions players.
Yes, he
in
picked
his,
two
in his,
last year.
He's got more Lions players in his squad now, but we shouldn't necessarily assume that they will play the way the Lions play. That playing style was developed over 4 or 5 seasons. So the Boks,
So
they may appear to be more adventurous, but they won't have
Well, you're
that
saying
sort of
we're slow
innate
learners.
understanding
It
of
takes
what
us
needs to
5
be
years
done.
to learn something. Is that what you're saying?
Liam, if they lost
that takes a while.
these 3 tests, if they lost South Africa, what happens to the coach?
Gone.
The performance clause in his contract kicks in this year, so I'd be very surprised if he stays.
Survived.
In fact, I'll go as far as suggesting that even if South Africa win the series, there might be changes in the coaching setup.
Ooh, you know
No, he's not guessing. Exactly.
You know
Not
something.
like
I'll
your
read,
tips,
I'll
you
read
know.
the Sunday Times for Liam on Sunday,
Yeah,
see
he
what he's
knows
got to
something.
say.
Yeah, I think Gary hit the nail on the head, though. France are going to look at that team sheet that South Africa are sending out. There's not going to be any fear whatsoever. I do think South Africa are going to win, but not for one moment think it'll be pretty 80 minutes. So I think have a few of those extra refreshments that you were thinking of having.
Yeah.
Argentina against England down in South America. Just going to quickly touch on this, Liam. Obviously, England have their side depleted by British and Irish Lions call-up. So Argentina, different kettle of fish when they put on the blue and white.
This is a difficult one to call in that England have all these debutants. I don't think they've had as many debutants since, I read it somewhere, 1947.
Sure.
So
You remember that,
There's-
Sarah?
Yeah, I did. A good
In
side
the-
they were then.
Well, that was just straight after the war, right?
Well, yeah, Well, there's that too.
You know?
Yeah.
You know,
A
that's
war
got-
tends to do that to you.
Exactly.
Don't get as many choices.
Yeah, exactly.
Just imagine the team sheet, unavailable through injury, unavailable through death. Sorry. It's a very difficult one to call because England play with a bit of swagger under Eddie Jones. There's no question. So these guys will have a go. Argentina, in the guise of the Jaguares, have been poor this season.
Yeah.
But they're playing at home and you have to give them a chance.
And Argentina got nobody in the Lions, have they?
I'll tell you something.
Very different breed.
I'll tell you something. The Lions have played in Argentina twice. They've had 2 series there.
Really?
Everybody thinks the Lions only played South Africa, New Zealand,
The
and
Lions in
Australia.
1955 played in Kenya.
Yeah.
And you know who played against them at
See?
Lock? A former president.
Foster.
No, Kenyan president. Not Kenyan
Oh,
president.
Kenyatta.
But, no, not a Kenyan president, but a former president.
Idi Amin.
Yeah.
Correct.
Idi Amin. He's bigger than the prop on
Idi
Samoa,
Amin.
right?
Played against the Lions.
Anyway,
55.
Forrest Whitaker,
Yeah.
Forrest Whitaker, brilliant.
last King of Scotland.
Yeah, absolutely right.
All right, so that's
Yeah, I'm
rugby
blessed.
pretty much done and dusted. Now we're going to go through Terry's football. We've been
Very
waiting
quickly.
for over an hour. And
No, not really.
No, I'm disturbed. I'm absolutely disturbed about one of your best bets, and we'll get there when we get there. First of all, Azerbaijan against Northern Ireland. I bet you didn't even know they were playing.
Yeah, I've looked through. I had to because of the show last night. You know, that radio show.
How many times?
But when you have a look at it, I mean, Northern Ireland got a great chance against Azerbaijan, obviously, as you see with the betting there. That's not one of mine, by the way, so we can move on.
Okay, well, let's move on. This is one of your...
It is. That's my number one
give
bet.
Germany a chance?
Yeah, I've got to give you absolutely San Marino. So that
1 to 100.
1,000 to 1, I think it is, or 1 to 100.
So you put on 100 rand to win one.
Win. Yeah, but you know,
Tight? Will it be
you put
tight?
200 to win 2. So you can keep going. So anyhow, no problem there. Germany obviously going to win.
That is the worst best bet I've ever seen.
Now then, have a look at this.
What about for the guy who's in the street hasn't got 100 rand?
This is one of mine. This is a very tight game. Sure. I mean, Norway are about 5 points behind the Czech Republic on the log. So I've gone for the Czech Republic to beat Norway, hopefully 17 to 10. Very, very generous. So that's another one. So that's another one to go with the. Then
Who are Denmark playing today?
they're playing, Kazakhstan. Yeah, lady. I've been practicing, not Kazakhstan. So Denmark, obviously, I think, going to win that. So I don't think there's a lot of problem there. Although that's not one of my bets. But,
Montenegro against
that,
Armenia.
I haven't got a clue. 13
Could
to
Montenegro
20.
be a dark horse?
I think they could be, because they, I think, are on the verge of qualifying, aren't they?
Who, Montenegro? Yes.
Oh,
How do you say the name of that side?
Well,
The one that starts with M.
Montenegro. You got to hesitate.
Okay.
okay, so you're staying out of that one.
No, I'm not. I've gone for Poland. Poland to beat. Poland are top. Do you know what it comes to? The bet. I'll tell you in a minute.
Yeah, 18 to 1.
Poland.
Gee, it's amazing how all doubles, trebles, all to comes end up on 18 to 1.
Poland are top of the log, by the way. Romania are about third in the log, so I've gone for that. Well, that I mean, I could have gone there.
Didn't Malta beat Ukraine last week?
They might.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
What an upset.
Absolutely,
1-0, I think they beat
absolutely
them.
right. I think it must be the only
biggest
second win
upset
in their
ever.
career.
Yeah.
But Malta's like the Iron Islands on that show's coming up again now. What's it called? Game of Thrones.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say-
Malta's like that. It's just all rock and everything, isn't it? It's not a big
Malta,
place.
lovely
Malta.
place.
Is
Lovely
it?
place. Now here's the one I.
No one's interested in this game.
Cool. This will be. I played there in front of 125,000.
Is this Hampton Park?
Scotsmen, Hampden Park. 125. It was basically the side that won the World Cup in '66. This was in '65. We went there, and Scotland had some really good players in those days. They were a good side.
Oh, there would have been because you beat them.
And that was no, we got beat 1-0.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we got
That
beat
won't happen
1-0.
this time, though.
And although Scotland aren't in the same class as England, the passion and the game itself, one of the oldest internationals played. You know, I've gone for England to win it by 2 goals to 1.
I think so.
Yeah,
Harry
that's
Kane
what I've
in?
gone for.
Harry Kane? Is he playing?
Harry Kane,
Yeah.
absolutely. If they got to keep, if they don't keep him quiet, then it could be. They won the first game 3-0, by the way. England, you know, the one in that last November.
Do you have an opinion on this game, by the way?
I don't really know.
I didn't think so.
No.
What were you going to say, Rod?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Okay.
But
I
there's
think they've
loads
got a
of
good
game.
record in Vilnius, Lithuania.
I'm sure they do.
In where?
In Vilnius.
Okay. I could get a
And then you've got all the
Lithuanian
African World
You
Cup.
can get a Lithuanian passport.
Really?
How?
By going to
passport.
Lithuania?
Ancestry. But I don't need one. I've got an Irish passport.
Yeah, I'd also take the Irish one over the Lithuanian one.
But on top of that, you've got all the African qualifiers as well, World Cup qualifiers.
They're not World Cup qualifiers.
CAFs, whatever you want to call them.
They're not are they World Cup qualified?
No.
CAF.
Well, why did you say World Cup
Well,
qualified?
because it's played in the world.
Played in the world.
All right, where are we going now? Let's.
You're not even doing Nigeria and South Africa.
Okay, all right. Well,
No, just saying, diabolical. Nigeria to win.
Stuart Baxter's first game in charge.
Yeah.
What do you think? Will they win?
No.
All right, weekly Techie Town competition. The 1,000 Rand Techie Town voucher was won by Alex Mshali. Well done for getting BGG Buffon correct. So again, another very challenging question was asked. This week's question is, who rode the 2016 Melbourne Cup winner to victory? Was it A, Ryan Moore? Was it B, Lester Piggott? Or was it C, Kieran McAvoy? You know Lester Piggott, don't you?
No, I don't actually know him personally.
Oh, you've never met him?
I've been in his company, yeah, but I wouldn't say I knew
First
him.
time you've never name dropped. Thought you would have said, yeah, go back many years.
No, never met him.
Is he a cranky man or not?
Oh, yeah, didn't have a roof to his mouth, so it was very difficult to understand him.
All right, all right. Please answer with your name and surname. Competition closes on Monday at 6 o'clock. SMS your answer to 44472. Terms and conditions apply. SMS costs 50 cents per entry. Standard rates apply. No free SMSs. Right, there is also a Grand Prix this weekend. It's in Canada, and again, the Mercedes versus Ferrari debate will kick off. Liam, any opinions on the Canadian Grand Prix tomorrow?
There'll be 2 Ferraris and 2 Mercedes in the top 4 places, and
Again.
they'll be
Getting
way
boring.
ahead of the others. I think the rest of the pack, they were like 2 seconds off the pace.
Shocking, I
yesterday,
saw it yesterday.
I don't see that gap closing.
He was top. I saw he was. I don't know what they've done since, but I saw he was quickest, Hamilton. But I mean, what a waste of time.
Yeah, I think Kimi Räikkönen will have a
See,
point
he
to
had a
prove
go
since
about.
last
He had a
Grand
go
Prix.
about the Americans, didn't they? Going around in that circle, and the Americans
Jeez, they let him have it.
didn't he let him have it? Said,
They
well,
go
you only
fairly
race.
fast around that
You only
circle,
race
actually.
against two cars.
Did you see that crash in the Indy 500?
yeah.
Frightening. I don't like watching that. That's frightening.
They did walk away.
Did they walk? How they walk away? I do not know.
Absolute
Well,
miracle.
they basically
know.
walk
No,
away.
they
I
go
think they
like-
get strapped up into a stretcher, and then, but eventually you walk away.
Yes.
Crazy.
Jeez.
All right, let's have a look at best bets for the weekend. And
Where's
see
the
what
French Open? Have you
ours-
discussed it? I know I wasn't here from the start.
The
but
what?
The French Open.
No, but here we are.
Well, we can. I think Rafa Nadal's going to win tomorrow.
At
and
126. It's worse than
Can I,
Terry.
just last week.
It's not.
Last week I said it 9-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
What's his name?
Wawrinka.
Exactly. 9-1 he was last week.
And he's
when I said.
And now he's in the final and he's
Oh
6
no,
to
it's
1.
Nadal.
he's got absolutely no chance.
No, I know,
Having,
I
having
understand
played that
that.
semi-final,
But you
Nadal
got to
has
run
hardly
for your
broken.
money.
Yeah.
He's
You've got
not
to run
broken
for
a
your money.
sweat because he's only conceded 29 games in this tournament. He hasn't dropped a set. The only time somebody has conceded fewer sets getting to a final was Borg in '78. So I mean, he's as
How many
fresh as
times has
they-
he won this? 10?
9. 10 will be 10 tomorrow.
Could be
this time.
10.
Tomorrow. By the way, our background looks like the clay from Roland Garros. Very
does,
clever, that.
actually,
Gary Lenson, what's your best bets?
Well, I've gone for France plus 7.5. The WSB special applies here, which means that if France are within 14 points and South Africa score in injury time, and you'll get your money back, right?
Tennis,
I've
what's
gone
that,
for that
3
tennis.
to
I've
1?
gone for Nadal 3-1 because I just thought 1-2-6 is too short. And maybe at 2 sets up, he might take his foot off the gas.
Oh, that's
so
to
5
win
to 2
3-1,
win 3
yeah.
sets to 1, yeah. England to beat Scotland, I like that a hell of a lot. And I think Joe Root to get a 50 today. I think he's going to have to buckle down and get runs, and he looks in
It's a
decent
nice
touch.
spread, that,
16
Gary.
to
Well
10.
done.
Yeah, so-
What's he done?
That's last week when he won.
Hey, Lars. Yeah. Thank goodness you told me it was
Big
next
deal. He thought this was this
Gee,
week.
thank goodness. Yeah. Yeah, well, I was only when he won on the couches last week.
Rebels. What was it? 1 to 50.
No,
wasn't it? Yeah.
no, that would have been a decent prize, Gary. What?
It's
3 or
right
4 to
there.
1?
Australia to beat England. Oh,
Well,
boring.
that's a big game. It's not boring. That's a hell of a game. The betting's, like you said, it was 9 to 10 each side.
Well,
It's very
28 to
tight.
10 the
Go
double
either
for
way.
sure.
Just going with Australia to win that one, I think they might step up to the plate. And if England lose, it's not a train smash for them. And then Crusaders, I cannot see the British Irish Lions beating the Crusaders. I just, sorry, my opinion. You can take the spread, you can take whatever you want to take.
Yeah. Simona Halep to beat Jelena Ostapenko. She's brilliant,
She is.
Ostapenko.
She gives the ball a fair whack. In
Yes.
fact, I read something that she was hitting the ball consistently the forehand harder than Murray.
Murray,
this-
yeah.
Really?
I read that about 3 or 4 miles an hour faster than Murray's
Yeah,
forehand.
yeah. But I think with experience on the other side of the net, Halep should take the final. The rugby, Scotland, I think, dead certs against Italy. They beat them 29 zip earlier this year, so I don't see that changing. Although this game is in Singapore. And then the Crusaders to beat the Lions, and then the last two there, at some point de Villiers will have to come good, and I think it might be in this one. And then David Warner might have a point to prove, given the fight between the players in the Australian side and the Australian Cricket Board or Association. So I think he's going to go good.
That's a touchy subject. And here's Terry Payne. Germany at 1-100.
18-1, mate. He ought to come. They'll beat that.
Don't worry, if this doesn't arrive, you're going to hear about it next week. Czech Republic to beat Norway, England to beat Scotland, and Ireland to beat Austria. Which one are you least sure about?
The Norway. Czech Republic, Norway, because it's in Norway. I played there, Oslo. We beat them 6.
Did you? But if your great England side from 1966 couldn't beat Scotland, how can this side beat them?
Because it's 55 years later.
No, I'm just saying that side you had is the only side that's won the World Cup, right?
Yeah, but
so that's the best
different
England
era.
side. Well,
then they were a good side.
Do you think they're good now?
Not to the quality they would need to win a World Cup, no.
Okay, well, that's pretty much that. Don't forget to open a World Sports Betting account because you will be in line. Very important. You will be in line to win a trip to the Melbourne Cup. You never know. It could well be you. And there could be someone quite interesting going with you. So all will be revealed. Of course, the Melbourne Cup's still a few months away. Don't forget all those specials that World Sports Betting have on offer. Big racing to come today. Lots and lots of sport. Big thanks to Liam, to Gary, to Rod, to Terry, to Dom Zaki, and to Ricky as well. We'll see you again next week on World Sports Betting's Morning Show.